Okay, guys, here we go. So I want to talk to you about Screencastify, which is a program I'm going to be using hopefully throughout the year to allow you to sort of see a document with me and that I can point out certain things about the document as I move through. So what we have here is a document called The Stranger in the Photo Is Me. It's we're going to be doing some memoir writing at the beginning of the year, some personal narrative writing, but first we're going to be reading a couple of pieces and thinking about that. So I have a little icon over here, an arrow key. What I want to point out is we're going to try to use the same sort of template in the English department this year. So when you open a new unit, everything looks familiar. So for instance, here's September 2020. That's where we are. It's we're going to be doing this for the next 3 or 4 weeks, focusing in on personal narrative memoir writing, and really trying to think about how an author shapes meaning via their word choice, their imagery, their diction, their syntax or sentence structure, etc. We're going to have some essential questions always, and we have two that we're going to be focusing on here. This being what I just mentioned, how do authors use the resource of language to impact an audience, and how do we form and shape our identities? So there are the two sort of essential questions. Because I'm just practicing with Screencastify here for myself and for an assignment, I'll just sort of move through. We have some summative assignments and grading considerations. We have some resources for you. In this case, the two major documents that we're going to be reading from. The Stranger in the Photo Is Me by Donald Murray, as I mentioned. And I believe we'll be reading some excerpts of Memory and Imagination by Patricia Hampel. And it's a lovely sort of piece of memoir here. Some other resources, an example of my memoir and me pointing out a few things about that with you. And then the rhetorical triangle, which is something we'll come back to time and time again in regards to we always want to think about when we're reading nonfiction, who is the speaker? Who is the intended audience, and what sort of message is being provided here. Some other supplemental resources, and there we are. I'm practicing with Screencastify.